You found this video for a divine reason, and its central message is clear. God will pour out his blessings upon you, even in front of those who oppose you. Let these words sink into your heart and believe them deeply. No matter what emotions you're experiencing or how difficult your situation seems, trust that God is able, and Jesus desires to transform your life in a powerful and meaningful way. This isn't just a message about God's favor. It's about where and how that favor shows up, exactly as Psalm 23 verse 5 says. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil. My cup runs over. The meaning behind the table. When God sets a table for us in the midst of our adversaries, it's no ordinary act. A table represents communion, rest, and provision. It's a sacred symbol of peace and togetherness. God, in his unmatched love and wisdom, chooses to meet our needs not in secret, but in full view of what once threatened us. The enemies may not always be people. They could be anxiety, fear, setbacks, past failures, unknowns about the future, or even self-doubt. But right in the middle of those storms, God says, "Here is where I will bless you." Like David, the shepherd king who wrote Psalm 23, we too are recipients of divine favor. Our heads anointed with oil, a mark of being chosen, and our cups filled beyond capacity, a sign of more than enough. Biblical examples of God's timing. Think of Joseph in Genesis, betrayed by his own brothers, sold into slavery, falsely accused and imprisoned. Yet at the right time, God raised him up to be the second most powerful man in Egypt. And who eventually came before him? The very brothers who tried to ruin him, witnessing the blessing God had given him. Or take Daniel, thrown into a lion's den by enemies seeking his destruction. But instead of perishing, Daniel emerged unharmed and was promoted to a position of honor. These stories reveal a powerful truth. God often chooses to bless his people in the very places the enemy hoped to break them. God delights in revealing his glory through reversals. What was meant to harm you becomes a platform for your elevation. His strength shows most clearly when we're weakest. His glory shines brightest when we're surrounded by darkness, blessed amidst the battle. Receiving God's favor doesn't mean life will be smooth or opposition won't exist. In fact, some of the greatest blessings are released in the middle of life's hardest moments. That's how God demonstrates his absolute authority and builds our faith to trust him not just on the mountaintop, but in the valley too. Romans 8 verse 28 reminds us, all things work together for good for those who love God. That means your challenges, your delays, your rejections, they're not wasted. God is using them. You're not facing these trials alone. The same God who stood with Joseph in the pit and Daniel in the lion's den is walking with you today. Psalm 23 doesn't say God prepares a table once the enemies are gone. It says he sets the table in their presence. Hold on to the promise. God didn't promise a life free of hardship, but he did promise his presence, his blessing, and his faithfulness in every season. So if you're surrounded by struggles, know this may be the very environment where your miracle is about to manifest. Keep holding on. Keep believing. Your table is being prepared, and it may be delivered right before the very things that once threatened you. As Romans 8 verse 31 declares, if God is for us, who could be against us? Don't lose hope. Be prepared to receive. The blessing is coming, and it's coming in the presence of your enemies.